Hi Gemini, welcome to your October reading. This is a general reading. If it pertains to love, obviously we'll pick up on that and we'll go into that in that context, and that's how we look at it. However, for the most part, it's a general reading for October. Take whatever resonates, you've probably heard a million times, take whatever resonates, throw away, what doesn't. And then obviously if you need to go and check your moon sign, your Venus sign, then obviously do so as necessary, because sometimes those signs do actually read a lot more kind of closer to our situation and relate better than our suns. So let's get started. Let's get a general card overview for Gemini for the month of October, please. General tarot card for the month of October. 4 gems. We don't need that many, thank you. Right, let's have a look. General card for the month of October for Gemini. Okay, interesting. Fantastic card straight off the bat. High Priestess, definitely. Okay, let's get the rest of our cards laid out. Could be dealing with a Piscean if you want to look at a sign specifically, but as an energy for the month of October, which is generally how I tend to read it, it's just it's requiring you to be the High Priestess and adopt that energy. But let's just have a look at the rest. Okay, just going to do a bit of a mini Celtic crossbed, really. Just helps me to put things into context via the position of the cards. We all work differently, and in my case, yeah, we won't be taking them. In my case, this is how I work, so this is just what works for me, guys. Right, okay, so I don't know what they are that wanted to come out, but they're not coming out. So there we go. I'll take that one. Okay. Right, let's have a look, gems. Okay, so obviously we've got crowning for the month of October. We've got the High Priestess energy. Now, obviously, this is duality as well, because we've got, the pillar of severity. We've got the pillar here, which is opposites duality. So I actually forget which one that is. I know that's a pillar of severity, and I forget what the pillar is of that side. Either way, it's about balancing, because here we are as represented by the middle pillar. So this is about intuition. Yeah, it is about intuition, but it's also about balance. I always see the High Priestess having connotations of balance for me personally, but we'll see how it relates in context to the rest of the reading. So let's see, it's the core fab. Okay, let's cross in. Yep, okay. Okay, so I'm getting here. In the past, there's been a strong manifesting energy. There's been a strong kind of, taking the fall, basically, moving forward, being a go-getter, because the Magician to me is a card of action. There's no two ways about it. I'm not really getting that this is anything to do with the relationship off the bat, to be honest with you. So this is not a love reading for me anyway, but it may fit into that. You may find that it does relate to you in that context, but as a reader for me right now, I'm not seeing anything necessarily to do with love. What I'm seeing here is previously, definitely, choosing to move forward, singularly and successfully, quite frankly. I love the Magician card. It's actually my favourite card. Being a Gemini myself, it's just ultimate representation of us, even though I know that other readers assign like Aries to it and Scorpio, etc. I just don't see it as anything other than Gemini. But I love the card, and the fact that it's in the past is no bad thing. That just means that a decision has been made to move forward and to do it successfully, as above, so below, as within, so without. And that's exactly what has transpired for you in making that decision. I mean, perfect as well. Could it get any better in terms of pairs? Absolutely. Well, in terms of pairs and energies, because I'm not necessarily reading this as individuals. This is just energy that's being adopted. That's what has been. This is what is. So it's fantastic. Core issue, we've got the Four of Wands. I know a lot of people tend to look at it as the 11-11 card, but I just look at it, for me personally, I tend to look at it in context to this as just foundations being laid. 4 is about stability. It's an even number, so it's about structure. Okay, so once something's been manifested, the 4 then becomes the very structure, as we can see here. It's, structure for me, and it's good. it's good structure. What's crossing though, and what's causing a slight blockage, is working with others. So it could just be something in relation to work in the environment or people in your environment that are causing a bit of a blockage. So maybe whatever it is in the past, the decision that you've wanted to make in order to move forward, that you have taken, basically, has led to you putting down your own solid foundations, but at the same time you're having to negotiate with other people in order to keep this solid foundation. Okay, so this to me is speaking about people in the workplace, people around you, people that surround your ideas or what notions that you have about your own stability. This is working with others, but it's causing a bit of a blockage. So it could be that you're coming into some form of conflict with other people in relation to how you achieve this or what you want to do in order to establish this. But at the core issue of it, to be fair, it's looking like it's pretty established. So you might just have a few bits of things, details to iron out with people, and they may be a bit oppositional. But I'm not necessarily seeing it as too much of a negative card. It's a slight blockage, but it's something that we can work around, Gems. It's not a problem as such. In terms of what we've got in the future, in terms of hopes, fears, etc. I'm thinking that obviously you just don't want to be juggling things anymore. You just don't want to be overwhelmed, feeling as though that you've got to maybe even juggle people's emotions and considerations. You don't really want to be having to take this into consideration. You want to move forward, having made that decision. In order to do so, you want to move forward, trusting your intuition, definitely, trusting the inner guide within you, basically. And I think in order to achieve this, you're needing to work around people, but it's not something that you're particularly desiring of. You don't want to be juggling. Maybe you've made too many you've been lenient in the past, and you've put a lot of consideration into other people's feelings, hence this is working out as a bit of a blockage. So maybe that's the case, and you're not wanting to do this anymore. In terms of advice, we've got the Judgment in reverse. So maybe this is calling for not to really make any kind of decision as of yet, maybe just to play things out and to just basically use your intuition. Don't make any kind of, rash decisions to do with, the work relationships that you've currently got going, or even, relationships, if this fits for you in a romantic context. Just not making any kind of rash decisions right now. Just basically going within and trusting your own intuition and just let it play out. And then we've got outcome. If you do that, we've obviously got, we've got strength here. So it's asking you to remain strong in doing that. Because for Geminis, really, when we make up our minds and we go forward, we generally tend to really want to move forward. And, we can be quite steadfast. We're quick thinkers. We want to achieve what we want to achieve, especially if it's relating to our stability, especially if you've got a family and you've got responsibilities, or you've got kids, or, it's your home environment. It's a core, subject at the end of the day. It's core, it's key for you. And if that stability is being blocked by having to make, some kind of leniency towards others or people that you work with, then obviously we're going to see that as a hindrance. As an air sign, being mercurial, we're definitely going to see that as a hindrance. But also don't forget that Mercury is actually going retrograde as of October the 13th, I think, till November the 3rd. So the thing to bear in mind here is that it probably isn't the best time to be making any kind of rash judgments, to be making any decisions that could obviously impact relationships, whether it be work or, romantic or otherwise. It just may not be a good idea at this time, and that you need to exert a little bit of strength and a little bit of a self-reserve and resolve in order to obviously keep that kind of composure about yourself. Let's just clarify. Outcome strength. What is the strength? Please clarify the strength card for my gems. Yeah, okay, so this could be fitting into relationships of either work or love. I don't always look at the Two of Cups as being something that's actually, that's necessarily of a romantic connection. It could be a partnership in work. It definitely could be, or it could be in a romantic context. Only you will know, because obviously it'll fit your situation however it fits. But yeah, I definitely say that you need to perhaps hold back on maybe, you know, pushing forward for a connection or making a decision on a connection, you know, or perhaps you just need to maybe, you know, either you don't want to be juggling and either you don't want to be kind of feeling stuck and managing everybody's situation, you know, feelings, emotions, because even though the pentacles relate to material things, which it could be managing finances, could even be that, you know, your partner is not currently working or is going through some kind of financial issue and you're needing to juggle the finances and you don't want to, you know, because you've got enough on your plate, you know, with work, but maybe you're taking on the majority of it in order to secure your foundation, you know, in which case it's a burden in some ways, but maybe, you know, there is an element of emotion here. Don't forget, and that we've got the water in the background and the turbulent water, so perhaps it's saying, in some respects, depending on your situation, that, you know, you just need to hold off making any rash judgments. You just need to hold off making any decisions. Get through the Mercury retrograde is what I would advise. Like I say, it can be a tough time for Geminis, and it depends where your Mercury is. Like my Mercury is in Gemini, so I always tend to be hit quite hard when it comes to being a Sun Gemini and being a Mercurial Gemini. The retrograde hit me. So I think, you know, holding off from making any judgments, any contracts, anything like that, that could impact a relationship, whether it be work or whether it be, you know, personal, home, whatever it is. It's related to your structures, though, to your actual foundation. So it could well be a partner, it could well be, you know, someone in the home environment, and you're just not having the best time at the minute. But just don't make that judgment call. Now's not the time to do it. Let's get through the Mercury retrograde. It's only another couple of weeks, and then, you know, and then obviously we've got the shadow phase as well. So, I mean, we've got a month probably in total with it, realistically. Just get through it, and then decide to make any kind of, you know, judgment calls after that period, because we don't want to be causing any kind of, although it's a nightmare juggling things at present, it's just a necessary evil, basically. You know, and I do think, obviously, as an outcome, you know, you'll find the strength to get through it. You know, the partnership is there, the relationship will be there. You know, it's a case of needing to just get through this period. So, Gemini, that's what I've got for you for the month of October. All details in order to contact me, if you should need to do so, are on my page, on the basic info and in the description box. So I hope you have a fantastic month of October. Overall, Gems, it's not looking too bad. You just need to trust your intuition. You need to go within. You are, at the end of the day, your own inner guide, you know, and we're pretty good at that, Geminis, you know, we're pretty smart, so we can do that, to just, you know, follow your own intuition. You know, I mean, if you want to look at this in terms of people, keys, you know, people that we've got on the table, or, you know, signs we've got on the table, we've got our sign, Gemini, we've got Pisces and Cancer. I tend to attribute both those water signs to that. And then obviously we've got the Pentacles here, but I don't necessarily see this as a person, but more of an energy, because it's a 3 and it's minor. We've got the Wands, again, more of an energy, but major arcana, we've got Leo, we've got Gemini, and we've got Pisces, Cancer. So if you're dealing with any of those signs, it could be that your partner's one, it could be that, you know, some of your work colleagues are one. But overall, for the month of October, it's not looking bad. You just need to trust your intuition. Go forward quietly, I would say, as well. You know, keep your resolve, keep your reserve. You know, you've manifested really well. You've chosen some good path in the I would say in the past, you've definitely taken action. You know, it's such a positive card, that, but you need to just move quietly now, really, I would say, and just move with wisdom, and just obviously keep your intuition on par. And then obviously, you know, when it comes down to relationships, it's a slight blockage and it's a slight inconvenience to have to consider other people, but that is just how it is. This is life, you know, but it's related to your foundation, so it's essential that you do work around this blockage, and that, you know, you do keep the peace to some extent. I know you don't really want to be juggling, nobody does at this time, but it is what it is. You know, you need to be, I understand the concern, juggling finances, juggling emotions, you know, so this obviously could very well be a love relationship. But it is what it is. It's the energy that we're getting at this time. I think, you know, if we can just bear with this a little bit longer, not make any rash judgments, and not call forth any, you know, major decisions, because we're going into that retrograde phase through soon for the month, and in the month of October, I think you'll find your strength. And there'll be amicable relationships as a result, you know. So, Gem, that is your reason, basically. I hope you have a great October, and I hope this resonates. Obviously, check out all of the signs if it doesn't, and just stay safe. Have a great October.